guys, welcome to Flix and Comix. I'm JoJo and we're live, and today's going to be a little different. I started a little earlier because I have a couple of awesome friends. Actually, one is running a little late, so he'll jump in soon enough. But for now, look who we got with me to discuss the Black Widow movie that just came out, and I'm just so stoked to finally talk about it because it's been long overdue. But here he is. Kabi from
Yes,
NYC.
I'm on time. I'm the responsible party here.
Yeah, you're the reliable one.
I'm reliable. I'm dependable. And I'm here to talk about Black Widow, which I've seen twice already, and I went to the premiere. You know, got to call that out. So I had a blast.
Very cool.
Going to the premiere. The opening night was. It was weird to see a movie for the second time on opening night and see the differences between a premiere crowd and that kind of a crowd.
Yeah, tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, I will. I don't want to dominate the conversation with it, but it was fun. It was, you know, there was a red carpet. David Harbour was kind of the star of the New York one. They did 4 premieres on the same day. I think they did Sydney, Australia, London, New York City, obviously, which is the one I was at, and LA, all on that same Tuesday, June 29th. So I was lucky to be able to go to the New York one, and I had a blast watching the movie. And it was obviously it was a really hyped crowd because it was a premiere scenario, but I enjoyed myself, and that was my first time back in a movie theater in 17 months since COVID started. So
wow, what a way to come back to that movie.
Yeah, totally. But I'm excited to finally talk about it in a spoiler heavy environment with you and hopefully Carlito when he gets here. I brought a Toxic Rick. Rick and Morty energy drink. Hilarious. So I'm gonna be going hard during this whole stream. Yeah,
wow.
Look at that. Toxic Rick. So I'm about to take a plunge into whatever this is, whatever chemicals are in here.
I also have an energy drink with me.
Oh, there you go. So nice. That's probably a safer one than this one.
Here we go. Bottoms up.
Okay. I don't know what's in that drink, but okay.
What's the flavor?
It's kind of like pineapple-y a little bit, like a pineapple tasting Red Bull kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you bouncing off the walls a little later.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this movie much anticipated, right? Like all of us. I think I speak for many people when I say like it's just so long overdue, not just because of the pandemic and everything, but just because she's an awesome character. Like I've always loved her in the MCU, always craved for more.
Right.
And so
I mean, look, I'm on the same page. Like the appropriate time for this film to come out would have been in between Civil War and Infinity War, which is the time period that the movie actually takes place in.
Yeah.
Since it's being released and it was intended to be released in 2020 and now is being released in the summer of 2021 since COVID messed the whole world up. So you're looking at almost like a, in MCU real life timeline, like 4 years ago would have been probably, in real life time frame, 2017 would have been like a perfect year for this movie to come out. 2018, that time frame. But that didn't happen.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And I still loved the movie getting that much time with her character, and obviously introducing some newer characters that in many ways, for many people out there, I hear that the newer characters stole the show for them, but I thoroughly enjoyed Scarlett Johansson's performance as Natasha Black Widow in this movie. There was a lot of quieter moments that I really, really enjoyed, especially, which we can get into when we go a little deeper in the film.
Quickly, but hitting pause real quick.
Yeah. Oh, we got Carlito here?
Somebody dropped in.
Finally. Jeez.
And there he is, Carlito. Thanks for joining us, dude.
What's up,
guys?
Nice
to see you to clear room in your busy schedule for us.
Yeah, sorry about that, Kavi.
It's all good.
You know how I'm doing over here. So
Yeah, I know what you got going on.
So
What's up though? You saw it in IMAX.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I just saw it yesterday. Regular
Theater.
theater, yeah, and it was awesome. I mean, I
Yeah.
had a great time. But yeah, getting back into it, Carlito, we're just kind of talking about how it's just long overdue, and it does feel like it should have come out in 2017. It does feel like a puzzle piece that has been missing, from the whole thing. But
That's a good way to put it.
It does feel like they did it well in terms of making it kind of a prequel, but then also kind of tying it back a little bit, especially with like the end credit scene, which we'll get into later and all that.
I'm glad they didn't over prequelize it like too much and like did too many like nod and wink at the camera style moments, like, oh, like this should remind you of Civil War, or oh, like this should remind you of Infinity War, which there was a couple of those kind of moments. They weren't like so obnoxious that I got pissed off or annoyed by it. They made sense, and they didn't do it too many times.
They did it to kind of orient you in the timeline. That was it, which was good. Yeah. So you were saying you really enjoyed Scarlett's performance.
I really, really enjoyed her performance. I mean, I obviously I think the standout performance is Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. I think she's, but you have to also understand she's coming in as a character that has not been seen before in the MCU. So everything she does in the movie is brand new, different, interesting, charming. Same thing kind of to some degree, well, maybe a little bit lower degree with David Harbour and Red Guardian's character. You haven't seen these characters or these actors in the MCU before. So I think organically their performances are going to sort of bubble to the top of the whatever, the chatter and the takeaway of the film. And maybe the lead character of the film, Black Widow herself, Natasha ScarJo, is, being a little bit overlooked because you've already seen her so many times. You've seen her in like
that's what
7 movies or whatever. And now finally she's getting, she's getting scenes where she has dialogue for like minutes at a time with no other Avengers on the screen. And I think it's great because, that was something I was craving for a while and finally got that. So,
yeah, I've heard that, like you kind of mentioned briefly, it's like a lot of people are saying Florence kind of overshadowed Black Widow, Scarlett, but I don't know, like I thought it was pretty balanced, even though
I thought it was pretty balanced too.
Florence did a great job and all that.
Well, she did a great enough job that it gets people excited about the widows continuing on in the MCU, in general, not just the Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff.
It was kind of like a sending off to Black Widow or Scarlett, and kind of this intro to Helena. How do you pronounce it?
Yelena Belova.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought they did it pretty well in terms of those two. Love their dynamic.
Yeah, they were great together.
Yeah, I have an older sister myself, so the bickering I could totally relate
I have a younger brother, so it's the opposite thing, but it's similar with brothers and sisters. It's like
absolutely.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
I felt that love between the characters. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And there were some pretty deep moments there too. Like it was a nice balance of like, they had the Marvel like humor, of course, but it was also, there were some moments that were pretty heavy too.
How about that reinterpretation of Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit in that intro scene?
Yeah,
that was a pretty heavy scene of what was going on there. So, thought it was an interesting music choice. I enjoyed it personally. But,
so what were your guys' like favorite scenes, like overall?
Oh man.
You want to go, Carlito? I know you probably got one locked and loaded.
Really? Favorite scene? That's actually a good question. That's the one thing I hadn't thought about. I mean, the one that comes off the top of my head, like right away, if I just, spitfire, was when Natasha finds Yelena at that apartment in Budapest.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fighting.
That scene was
That reminded me of Jason Bourne when they're in that first apartment and that guy goes through the window. Like that whole fight kind of was pretty cool. So
I agree. The choreography for that sequence was really good, I thought.
Yeah, for anybody in the chat who hasn't seen it, like just go on mute, I guess, if you still want to watch. But it's a spoiler.
There's a big banner at the bottom.
We're going spoiler heavy here. So if anybody's, because I see multiple people in the chat saying haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, actually, now that you mentioned the chat, let's just say hi to people because I
everybody
did not do that.
Yeah. Jeffrey Comic Con.
Yeah, Jeffrey's here. Unruly Simeon, what is up? We got who else? Todd. Hey, Todd.
Todd.
J-Man. And then Gomez. Good to see you, Gomez.
Yo, Gomez, broski.
Yes. Peanut Butter. Good to see you too. Second Street Marvel. We got Coco. What's up, girl? And then
Agu's here.
Agu. And then we got Geek Out with Roscoe. Good to see you too. And JP, what's up?
JP, what's up?
JP's here. I gotta go.
We got IE Toy Hunter in the house too. So yeah, definitely. Let's see. What does J-Man say real quick? This movie, what can I say? It did for Taskmaster what Iron Man did for Mandarin. Too bad because I was loving it until that part. Elena was the best though.
J-Man, that is funny because I've seen people that actually loved what the Mandarin did, but hated this with Taskmaster, and I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like it's the same thing, and I don't know, whatever. But for me,
I wouldn't
call Mandarin felt worse than this,
I wouldn't call it the same. I wouldn't call it the same exact thing, but for me, the Iron Man 3 thing was a little bit more annoying than
I thought so.
Yeah, because in this reveal, the character at least is like a significantly emotional character connected to the main character of the film, and her entire arc as a character feeling guilty about what she did when she was a Russian operative. That was like the number one thing she was feeling guilty about. So there's a major through line in the storyline to that. So just because, you might be a little, annoyed that it didn't maybe follow some exact comic book adaptation type level thing for you, I can, I guess that's your bag to be annoyed by, but I wasn't really bothered by it. I was a little bit more bothered by how little personality Taskmaster was given once the outfit was like, there were no lines or anything. Well, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more like of a menacing preamble from the Taskmaster character before the reveal. I was actually fine with the reveal and a little bit let down by the pre-reveal stuff from that character, because they marketed it so heavily like that was going to be the main villain. It was really Dreykov was the main villain. I could see where he's a little annoyed with it, only because like I do feel like it was kind of a throwaway villain like that, and Taskmaster I feel like should be more than that. Now it's a potential character that could come back down the line in the MCU based on where the character ended off. Especially if Yelena Belova is going to appear in whatever, Hawkeye or whatever other future movies that Florence Pugh's character will appear in. It's potential that character can appear as well, since they walk away from the movie alive and now on the good guy side in theory, right? So I don't know if there's any specific plans for that or not, but it's the character's still on the table technically.
Yeah, and I don't honestly. I'm gonna be honest. I know zip zero about Taskmaster, and frankly, I don't really care. But I was reading people that did know a lot about him, and they're saying like, you never truly really find out like who's behind.
It's a mimic. It's a mimic character to people.
Yeah,
true.
So if they were gonna choose to do a reveal, it was probably going to annoy 50% of people anyway. So like that was going to be my next point if we were going to have to talk about Taskmaster again. But I'm hoping we
And
don't.
also,
I don't want to get stuck up on that. It's like I don't understand for some people where like one thing they don't like about a movie defines the movie for them. Well, what did you like about it? You know, like
right.
And then they name like 9 other things that they like about it. It's like, well, why don't you focus on that a little bit instead of the one thing you didn't like? Like, is that how you really review a movie? Like, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, it depends how annoyed they get by the one thing,
I guess, but I never focus on negatives when I do a critique of a film. I have the negatives, like I just named that negative about Taskmaster. It was a different negative than probably a lot of other people's negatives.
But that's the thing, like sometimes people think critique is a negative, but actually critiquing's not really negative,
No, it's not.
Exactly. So
well, and also
you're right. People get too caught up into like in their feelings about it.
I will say though, sometimes people think being negative is a critique when it's just being negative.
True.
Yeah. So that does happen. I've seen that, and it annoys the hell out of me.
Well, can I cheat a little bit with my answer for the what's it called, the best scene or whatever? Like, yeah. I feel like any of the quieter scenes between Yelena Belova and Natasha Romanoff were kind of or David Harbour to some degree. I lean more towards like, they're at the gas station and she's like making fun of her, like, posing, and then they're like having beers and stuff, like talking about let's go on a mission, things those or when they're in the car and she's like, how do you like my jacket? Like, this is the first like piece of clothing I've ever bought. Like,
I love that part.
That whole banter, like all those little bantery moments back and forth.
That's also what was so good about
good
Scarlett in the other movies too. Like, you always got those kind of moments with her. Yeah. And I like that they brought that to this one too. But yeah, you're right. Those moments are awesome. And
I like how that vest was what she wore in Infinity War too.
And also, also, just like that moment when she's like in the trailer home or whatever, and she's just watching like James Bond on her laptop, and she like, you just get to see her chill for a second and be like, oh, like, she's just eating ice cream and watching James Bond. Like, why am I liking this so much? But I am,
It is awesome.
Yeah.
You had the lines memorized of them.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Was just really neat, kind of little small details, character development,
Yeah.
So totally. I think
and I'm not knocking all the action stuff by saying I prefer all the quieter stuff. The action was fun, it was great, but I almost was like waiting sometimes for the action scene to get done so that there could be more of that other stuff.
Absolutely.
Because I like that kind of stuff.
Same.
In hindsight, I think the same thing. Like, at first, I didn't really think about it, but I read some people, and I think maybe you mentioned something. The choreography and the fights got a little repetitive and was a little, I don't know, maybe drawn out. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, you're dealing with mainly characters that don't have superpowers. Red Guardian being the only exception as a super soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
JP, you copied my review. That's cool.
Ground level characters in this one for the most part.
Let's see. Black Widow was great, but bittersweet for me because we finally got an excellent showcase for ScarJo and the Widow character, but I still want more.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, we're gonna get more Widow.
Yeah, I think that's a fair review, but I think exactly what Carlito just said is like the thing that the positive takeaway from, assuming there's no more ScarJo, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow ever again, is that you have this exciting new sister of that character that did a really great job in this film that, theoretically could have a solo film at some point down the line, or will at the very least be integrated in some of these other shows and group films,
Yeah. I think my favorite scene was kind of like yours, Kavi, where it's like an unexpected moment, but after all, like the fight scenes towards the end, when she saves Yelena and she wakes her and she goes, "It was real for me too."
Oh yeah, that was
that sweet moment.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was sweet.
oh my god, that was that.
Well, first she's like, "We're both upside down," and
that was
which was like a nice little moment of levity, and then they got to the serious moment, which was nice. The comedy was all well timed. It was well written.
Yep.
You know.
I agree. What do you guys think of Red Guardian overall?
I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him.
Yeah. At first I was like really annoyed, but I think it's because they wanted that. They wanted to.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, even the girls were annoyed, right? They're like, "Can we just throw him out the window right now?"
Right. Right. Yeah. Like I think his arc was intentionally one where he started out a little bit like a jerk, and then he just grew on you until the end of the film. You know.
Yeah.
Sup, Trash Dash?
That's why it was really kind of unexpected when there were some heartfelt moments with him too.
For sure.
But yeah. Oh, look who it is. Nick Berrucci. What's up?
What's up, Nick?
How's it going? And then we got FM McGinnis in the house too. Red Guardian didn't get enough action.
I agree with that.
You know what?
Although it's not really about Red Guardian, but still.
Right.
Like, he could add a little bit
and
more.
that character again remains to live another day in theory. Like we don't know where in the current, post Spider-Man, Far From Home MCU timeline, or Winter Soldier timeline or what is it, Falcon and Winter Soldier, or Captain America and Winter Soldier, I guess.
Right.
In that timeline, we don't know where Red Guardian is at this point in the current.
Because technically, this happened 7 years ago on the MCU timeline.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So. Yeah. I don't know. It also, what was nice about this movie too was it really, the moment we get with her in Endgame, it's like that just feels way more impactful now too. Not that it wasn't before, but yeah, you just think about all this and it gives her.
It also got me excited for Hawkeye, which I was already excited for Hawkeye because I think having a new generation Hawkeye introduced will be really cool, and the actress that they got to play that character is a great actress as well. But if Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh makes her way into that show, I'm even more excited about that.
It's gonna be fire. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, i.e. Toy Hunter brings up a good point here. What confused me as hell was that Red Guardian never got his own shield. He used Taskmasters.
Well,
I noticed that too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I agree, but also like, when would they have put that in there? Like,
is it just chilling at the prison? Like, did Melina save the shield in addition to the outfit? I guess maybe.
I imagine they probably confiscated it when he went to prison. So, I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, I did notice that. And then FM says Marvel's building a Thunderbolts team. Ooh. Maybe Red Guardian will play a role there. Interesting.
Yeah, that's been the rumor for a minute. I mean, General Ross was in the movie. I mean, there wasn't a specific sort of, and the Thunderbolts are happening, like, reveal or anything in it. But I definitely think that that's going to happen at some point. And I think Haley Steinfeld is a fantastic actress. I think she's going to be great.
I know. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
She's going to do really well in it.
Heck yeah. Hey, Super Russ. Haven't seen the movie yet.
Russ
popped in. Hey.
Yo, what's going on, Russ?
But yeah, okay. So what else? Oh, the music. I noticed the music a lot more in this movie for whatever reason. I thought it just hit right. I don't know. I just really felt it. And it's been kind of a gripe for me in the previous films because it's not memorable to me. The scores aren't really that memorable. This one really hit me.
Really? So, even the Silvestri Avengers scores and stuff?
Minus the Avengers movies.
Those are all memorable.
Those are good. Yeah. Those are good.
And Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty memorable because it's a mix between score and pop culture songs that you can recognize.
That's when you're getting into the actual tracks. But I'm talking about score.
Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't blown away by it. I think it did kind of. It had to sort of lean in on some, I guess, what you call, little flurries of themes that you recognize, and then concentrated on its own score. And I thought that was probably necessary because it's a prequel kind of film.
Yeah, they have to tie it back.
They
So.
want to tie it back, exactly. So I was cool with everything about the score. I think I need to actually listen to it as a standalone, like separate from the movie or something, for me to like truly like, oh, that was the theme for this character. Like even after 2 viewings, I don't necessarily have that stuck in my head, but I do remember when the flourishes of the Avengers theme were mixed in.
Yeah.
So that you could recall back to those moments in other films. But there was nothing about it that threw me off of the movie. I felt like it was all appropriate the whole time. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Kavi. I don't remember any specific themes, but I definitely remember I liked it and enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, I could be mistaken, but I thought I read something a couple years back after Infinity War that one of the main criticisms by fans of the MCU was prior to the first Avengers, and then even after that, before Infinity War, the scores, the soundtracks were just kind of meh.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Feige knew that, and I think they're trying to make an effort to make those better going forward. So at least that's how I feel since Infinity War. But
I thought it was pretty solid. I would love to actually listen to it separately without any visuals, because I tend to do that with a lot of these films.
Right.
Personally.
I know.
I thought I was the only one, Kavi.
No, I do it for all of them.
And Franklin, yes, Franklin, I definitely agree with that. Like it had its unique sound too,
not the typical. I mean, it had some of that, but like not just like patented standard Russian stuff. So
I love the Avengers score. It's probably my second favorite behind Hans Zimmer's score for the Dark Knight film.
The Nolan Zimmer stuff is fantastic.
For sure. Really, but yeah, the Avengers score is awesome. It's funny because at first it's like what Carlito was saying. I remember thinking like, man, I don't remember these scores very well. And then the more time passed and I just started like,
really,
I don't know, just noticing it a lot more after a certain amount of movies. But yeah.
Oh, you mean, okay, gotcha. You mean an earlier part of the MCU.
The earlier movies.
Yeah.
For some reason. But yeah. Let's see. What else were...
I thought Iron Man and Iron Man 2 were pretty decent. But after that, I don't really remember before Avengers or even...
Yeah, the earlier ones. It's been so long on some of the earlier ones for me that I would have to re-listen / rewatch to comment.
You know, I was really worried, not really, I shouldn't, that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I remember watching the preview and I was like, man, her accent, Florence Pugh's accent sounded really weird in the trailer. And going into this, I was like prepared for that. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna sound weird. But you know what? It didn't like sound that weird. I loved
it. Maybe like Scarlet Witch, she'll lose it like by 3 movies from now or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
and then I heard a lot of people saying like, oh, why? When I did that reaction, I got comments saying, why doesn't Scarlett Johansson have an accent in the movies? But it makes sense because she, is.
Well, she's an international super spy Avenger.
Yeah.
Like, she can change her accent at will. I'm sure Yelena can also. They're both widows. So
I was pleasantly surprised. And even Red Guardian was kind of switching off and on with the American accent. And
was he
in the beginning? Because he had to act like American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say like right now.
Right, but that was.
I love that opening.
He was a spy too.
I love that opening.
They
were both spies. They were both using American accents to raise their kids, right? Right. So.
And Melena's accent later was super thick. So when they found her in Russia,
right. That was what 1996 Ohio was when that happened. Like was the
or 95 I think. Maybe.
Was it 95 or 96?
Yeah, 95 I think.
And the little actresses they got for that.
Oh, they were perfect.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Loved
I wasn't sure at first, but I definitely loved it.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the whole like mind manipulation thing with the widows?
Kavi, you can. I mean,
I
got
get
some
the
thoughts,
interview.
but
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it, Carly.
Go ahead, Carlito.
I just like, for me, I thought it was cool from a scientific standpoint. Now it's probably more like kind of junk science or, you know, fictional science, but still, I thought that was cool. But the thing that caught me was how the gas that like takes it away is red.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think that there's like a connection to Scarlet Witch, and maybe
Mhm.
because when she would do her mind control stuff, it was like a red kind of sparkly gaseous type deal. Like I'm thinking maybe they reverse engineered it to take it away. Like they captured it somehow from her and reverse engineered it, or maybe someone that had it in their bloodstream still, and they like, you know, did their whole analysis and reverse engineering on it and like stole it. Because I don't know how else they would have been able to do that. But I just thought because it was red, I'm like, ooh, Scarlet Witch connection. But
I was cool with it. I didn't read too much into it from a scientific standpoint, where it's like, I don't think that checks out. Like, this is comic books. Like, come on, right? But I thought it was smart in the writing sense of the word, that they connected the reasoning that they were there infiltrating the United States as a Russian spy family, but the actual goal was, you know, the science which Melina was in charge of, right? And they were trying to get scientific information / intelligence which was on that zip drive, or that it was like a floppy disk, or I don't even know what it was, right? From, you know, a university where SHIELD was doing research or whatever, right? So it all felt connected, like, and it all like made sense. I thought maybe the execution of like the puffy red thing was a little janky to me or something, but the whole explanation for it, I was fine with it. I thought the whole, like, you know, Dreykov automatically reverse engineering his pheromones and having every widow have that be like, you know, his pheromones is their kryptonite, or like that's the easiest parallel I can make it. I thought that was the weirder thing among those two things. Yeah, I liked the James Bond like nature of that final mission and planning for it, and how she like literally smashes her face in on the desk to prevent that. Like, that was smart. That was good writing.
I mean, come on.
But yeah,
I agree.
But dude's got some pheromones, I guess.
Oh, I know. I liked the reveal of the mind manipulation stuff when Helena runs into the other chick and stabs her, and then that's how we find out.
That's how she wakes up.
Yeah, like that was really interesting. I like how they did that. I like how they wrote that. It's just kind of a cool thing. But yeah, later on, I
love how she got a dog though at the end. Like,
I'm
jumping all the way to that post-credit scene, but when I saw the dog, I was like, "Oh, she got a dog." You know?
Yeah. So you guys want to talk about the end credit scene then?
We can. I didn't mean us to go straight to that, but if you want to, go for it.
What did you think, Carlito, of the end credits?
I think let's see, I was like in the center of the theater, but the whole row was filled, and there was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 dudes on each side of me, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that like choked up. But I'm cool with it because I was like, you know what? After all these years, like, I don't know, it kind of hit there a little bit harder than the actual end of the movie. But
no, I felt like that post-credit scene had some pretty strong emotion.
Not yet, Joe. We haven't.
Not yet, Joe, but we're all pretty positive about the movie in general.
It was subtle and quiet, but like, I don't know, I felt like it was a solid way to kind of pass the torch, if you will.
Just seeing a tombstone for that character is pretty emotional.
Rough.
Yeah.
Pretty emotional thing.
Rough. Yeah. The way she whistled too. Oh my God.
Right, and then she like kissed the tombstone, kind of like that was deep.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, the Midwest joke by Valentina, it got me laughing pretty hard.
I was laughing. I think she's hilarious. I mean, it is hard for me to separate Elaine Bennis, from any other character, just because of how much of a Seinfeld fan I was growing up. But that said, I enjoyed her in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, and I thought she was fine in her one scene here. Pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, it definitely paves the way and teases for sure. So
I can't wait to see Elena and Hawkeye together on screen. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for that. Oh, man.
Franklin says they really held back Taskmaster for the sake of the twist.
Well, yeah. But here's the thing. Like, I'm okay with it because this movie was about Black Widow, not about Taskmaster.
Yeah, it wasn't about
It's not a Thanos movie. It's not a Taskmaster movie. It's a Black Widow movie. So I was cool with that.
Like, I feel like people maybe built up too many expectations around that. And or like just like with WandaVision, like idiots talking about Mephisto every week. It's like not every single thing that comes out in the MCU is going to have an Avengers level like game-changing plot point to the whole
Maybe that mind control stuff was made by Mephisto.
Yeah, right? Maybe. We'll just say right now that it was, Carlito. Then it'll become a rumor.
Seeing Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, well, I was commenting on his comment.
Yeah.
Or their comment.
Oh, man.
We need Jerry
Right?
Seinfeld.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That would be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
Oh, my God.
I guess I see a little bit of Elaine in that, but, like, I don't know. I'm not like you guys. I can't.
Well, I love the idea of the stable that she's sort of now building. She's got Yelena Belova, Widow. She's got U.S. Agent. Who else is going to be in the Valentina crew? Like they're building that to be a crew kind of thing.
Is there like a team that they might be building or something?
I don't know. Possibly.
Interesting.
Maybe. Yeah. Could be.
So that leads me to where do you think this is all going? Like Helena is not gonna be an Avenger, right? Do you think she will be? I don't think she will be.
No.
I think so.
I think they're just teasing for Hawkeye and she's gonna
at this point, at the current, like if we're fast forwarding now to present day MCU, there are no Avengers. Like
well, there's going to be a new generation.
But there's going to be a young Avengers.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't think they're going to do.
But
it'll be young Avengers.
It's possible, like I think there's a higher chance of more established characters that are in the comic books and Young Avengers to be quote unquote official part of the Young Avengers, like Kate Bishop, because she's going to be in that same show.
Miss Marvel getting a show, right?
Miss Marvel, yeah. I think there's been some. I don't want to do spoilers for Loki since this is not a show about Loki, but there are some things going on in that show that people are speculating might be related to Young Avengers. I don't quite see that computing myself, but you never know. But there's a lot of different things sort of in the TV side, I think, that is setting up Young Avengers style future content.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Cool. So let's get into grades.
Okay. Well, real quick, I want to hit Franklin's comment about
what's that?
The best comic book movies balance out the hero and the villain, Dark Knight, Endgame, etc. In general, I agree, but like, if you put it into context, since Thanos, I don't think any villain in the MCU is really going to live up until we get like a Doctor Doom or.
So I will. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. Like, you could put the movie Dark Knight in front of somebody that has never seen any other Batman movie or cartoon, and I think it could hold up because within the context of that film, everything is there that you need.
Yep.
Endgame, no. Totally opposite.
Nope.
If you put Endgame on in front of somebody that's never seen an MCU movie, didn't see the first Avengers, didn't see how Thanos was teased in the lead up to Endgame, didn't see Infinity War for that matter. Like, how could you just sit down and watch Endgame? You can't. It's
I mean,
it's the culmination.
saga movies.
Yeah, it's the culmination of a 21 something movie event.
Right.
It's not really a complete film onto its own, in my opinion. So I can't put it on the same level as Dark Knight for me, and like my own kind of, standalone film kind of ranking. Endgame is like the definition of a film that is not a standalone film.
Jeffrey.
So.
Yeah, I think to Franklin's point, like a lot of the X-Men movies do that well, where they kind of balance and kind of see, like Magneto's side and ideologies versus, just all the X-Men.
Professor X.
Professor X, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I hate Iron Man 3, because I feel like it's totally imbalanced. That seeing the trailer for that and like the Mandarin's voice and like stuff and just setting up, I was just, oh man, it's just gonna be badass, and then it's just like a huge disappointment after.
I guess, but I would much rather see Mandarin debut in a movie like Shang-Chi that's actually culturally appropriate, aesthetic, than Iron Man 3. So let's say they didn't do that,
fine with that.
That whatever, what's the word, I don't know, bait and switch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say they didn't do that, they could have just screwed it up in general. If they,
But I mean, it's Ben Kingsley, so I don't know how you screw.
I guess. Well, I never thought that actually made sense to me either. I was like, Ben Kingsley, he's supposed to be this like mega martial artist character. Like, really?
Yeah, that was interesting. So
agree, Jeffrey. It would have been better.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie.
Possibly.
That's funny.
Maybe they could have played Hide the Zucchini. I don't know.
Anyway,
it's Disney though, so probably not.
Yeah.
Happen.
All right.
Well, She-Hulk is happening soon too. Like all this stuff is happening.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for She-Hulk.
It's insane.
Wonder if Jeffrey's excited for that.
He's going to be in it, right? The Mark Ruffalo is going to be in it, is what I hear.
I think so. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
And no more Professor Hulk, so I know that'll make Jeffrey happy.
Right. Yeah.
I think Mephisto is going to bring out Red Hulk. Just saying, you heard it here first.
I don't doubt you, Carlito.
Sure, man. I believe you.
All right. So grades. Grades. Out of 10.
So look, I'll go first if you guys want. Since I'm now volunteering. My score for the movie is pretty much in line with the critics' score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 80%. Maybe a little bit higher, so that equates to like a 4 out of 5 or a 4.25 out of 5 range for me. The audience score is 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is crazy to me, especially in the age of just trolls on the internet.
I was just going to say that.
The movie made, I mean, obviously it's still Sunday, so the final numbers are not in, but the projection is somewhere in the $80 million range at the physical box office, which would be a record in the COVID era or whatever. It would be the biggest opening ever since COVID. Plus another $60 million of people ordering it home on Disney Plus pay-per-view. So that's like $150 million in the US, plus another 70 something million overseas. So in 3 days, this movie is going to make $220 million or so in the post-COVID era. So it is the biggest movie to come out since COVID. So I think from a box office and market standpoint, it is a big success. From a critical standpoint, it's a success. I wouldn't say it was a smash hit. It's an 80%, 4 out of 5, but that's still like certified fresh or whatever if you average all the reviews together. And then from an audience score standpoint, it seems to be most majority positive. So, I mean, and I was lucky to be able to go to the premiere and have that kind of experience. So maybe I'm more hype on it than other people because I did have that experience, but I did go again with a regular crowd on opening night, Thursday night, and enjoyed it, just as well on the second viewing. So that's where I'm at. I'm like a 4 to 4.25 kind of score on it.
What is it for you that doesn't make it a 5? Like, what is that thing?
It would be probably the lack of personality in Taskmaster as a villain prior to the reveal. From the reveal onwards, I was cool, but it was almost like from the beginning of the movie up until the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I was felt a little bit let down with the Taskmaster writing, I guess, or just that character. But it wasn't. I mean, but that doesn't make it a full 0.75 or one score difference. I think the rest of it could be. I think the reason why it isn't a 5 to me is just because it just didn't. It didn't have. It's not going to be one of those movies that I'm going to continually revisit over and over and over and over again, like Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight to me is like a 5 out of 5 comic book film. Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed Black Widow, but I cannot give it a 4.75 score like I would give Dark Knight, because I'm not gonna. I've seen it twice already. I don't think I'm gonna see it like 10 more times. Gotcha. I don't need to, I maybe one time, one more time, in the next year, maybe I would be willing to watch it again. But I don't think it's one of those kind of movies that you need to continually watch and rewatch and whatnot. I did notice some things I didn't pick up on in the second viewing that I may have missed in the first viewing. But for the most part, it's a one viewing film, and you should retain the majority of what you need to retain, for that film. So so that's kind of my range, like 4.25. I would say I would give it a strong 4.25, if that makes sense.
Okay. Cool. How about you, Carlito?
Real quick. So those things you noticed the second time, were they good or bad things?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Because I kind of want to see it a second time, but I don't know if I'll watch it.
I mean, if you really liked it your first viewing, then I highly encourage a second viewing. I mean, I didn't get my money back. I went to go see it again,
I think it's pretty impressive too that just the fact that it's a prequel. A lot of times you feel like it's unnecessary, So it's nice that even with that being a prequel, there's still some rewatchability there.
There is some rewatchability.
You're not going to watch it 8 more times or whatnot, but at least you still wanted to watch it again, and there's that excitement.
Like I think Endgame I saw in the theater 5 times. So Infinity War I think I saw in the theater 5 times. So I wouldn't do that with this kind of a movie. And and I had to pay for every single one of those. I didn't get to go to a premiere on Endgame. I got to go to a premiere on this. So it's a different kind of movie. Like I think people who have their expectations too high and expect an Avengers level style film every time out in the MCU, and it's been 2 years since you got to go to the theater for the MCU, so you almost forgot what it was like. Like those are the kind of people that might potentially be annoyed or let down by the film because they've just set themselves up so high with such a long wait. But if you can ground your expectations a little bit and sort of realize what this film was supposed to be a year ago, and it still is a year ago. It's not like they added new scenes, this is what it is. This is the movie. Then I think you can probably get what the intention was with the film, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
No, I definitely agree with you. So Carlito, score. What do you give it?
Yeah. Well, like I said on my IG non-spoiler mini review, solid 8.5 out of 10 or 4.25 out of 5.
Yep.
All the same things Kavi mentioned. I mean, he has a more eloquent way of putting things together in speaking than I do. I'm not very good at that, but
I just bullshit until it sounds like I said something smart, dude. That's the trick.
But I agree, with everything you said, and also, I think for me, the reason why I couldn't go higher than a 4.25, which I believe was, I might have given Wonder Woman a 4.5. I don't know, I can't remember, but it was close. But just
the first one or the second one?
The first one, yeah.
Okay,
the
first one.
The second one was like a 3.8, which is still not bad, but
yeah, I think I may have given the second one like a 3 to 3.5 or something.
Which is probably, looking back, that's probably more accurate. I was trying to be super positive about Wonder Woman 84.
I hear you.
But anyway, so yeah,
I would rank
me,
I would rank the first Wonder Woman higher than this, but it's hard to rank DC versus Marvel.
I would too.
Right,
It's a totally different. It's a totally different
It
like
really
universe.
Is. It's a little hard ranking. I need to
Yeah.
get better at ranking, guys. You guys have to help me with this. It's so
I don't think
Well, I actually have the
ranking is
system.
necessary,
I could share that system with you. It's a 10-point system, but
oh, I'm very intrigued by that. So,
yeah, let's share that offline right after.
It's not just like random numbers I throw out there. But anyway, so yeah, like I think if this had come out post Civil War, pre Infinity War, it probably would have got like a 4.5 for me.
Yeah.
But just for the fact that, like JP said, Kavi said, everybody's pretty much saying it is a little bittersweet that it comes out after the whole saga is already over. And
if it did come out before, there are a couple things in there that I would have, that would have been crazy ass spoilers for Infinity War and Endgame though. So if it did come out before, it's almost like, well, you might want to cut out this little scene and this little scene, because if somebody sees this movie before they see Infinity War and Endgame, there are major spoilers for those films,
right?
So
I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's the only problem with that argument is because there are things that give away the biggest like climactic moments of Endgame. Like,
I really didn't think about that.
Yeah, you could definitely cut the end credit scene and put it on a different
it totally will kill somebody's potential enjoyment of Endgame.
Oh, absolutely, Franklin.
Watch this movie first. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I only watched Captain Marvel once, and honestly, I don't. Well, and then I watched it on Blu-ray. But
yeah, I would agree with that statement. I didn't mind Captain Marvel. I thought it was fine.
Wasn't bad.
I like Black Widow a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
To me, though, like Captain Marvel feels like Superman. I feel like she's so overpowered that I just kind of lose interest. So for me, like if down the road they like kind of make her more vulnerable, then I'll probably get more interest in her. But as of right now, I mean, she's just like so overpowered. Which, granted, Stan Lee said that Captain Marvel was the most powerful character in the Marvel universe. So
I'm more excited about Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan like joining her fold than I am seeing another movie with her. Technically, that's where I mean, I'm not knocking it or anything. I think Brie Larson's great in the role, and it's fine. But I'm more excited about Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan and like women of color having more of a presence in these movies, and that's a big step.
For sure. Well said. But
So what about you, JoJo?
I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. There were just a few little things that I would have changed or, could have been better in my opinion, but that's mainly just like some character development when it came to like what's her name? The mom figure. Melina. Yeah. She seemed a little flat to me, but I also think that was part of her character. She's very analytical type.
Yeah.
And like I said, at first Red Guardian, I was just like, I don't understand this character. I'm not getting it. And then it kind of fell into place as the movie kept going. But so little things, nothing crazy. I had a lot of fun with it overall. Like, I love the action sequences, which is something I forgot to mention. I thought the choreography was really great. I remember watching Civil War and having issues with actually Black Widow's scene in that when she's like running through, I think with Captain America, and there's like a huge fight sequence there through the city that they're in, and I remember thinking, wow, that looked so fake. Like just the stunt double didn't even look like her, and I was like, is this for real? Like this doesn't look this is like from a like a rough cut or something.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't have that problem at all with this movie, and it was the contrary. Like I was fully engaged, and like the
cinematography was really good. I thought
it was just flawless. And usually, another thing is that I tend to get a little drowsy during action scenes. I don't know what it is, but sometimes.
Oh, because you're freaking editing UFC videos. And you see
I
so
do.
many
I do
hours of that
if
stuff.
there's free popcorn involved, which there was at the premiere. That's
I
what
wish I
happened to
had
me.
free
That's what happened to me. So.
Yeah. So this movie, I was just fully engaged. I didn't get drowsy at all, and yeah, I just wanted more, if anything. So really, really enjoyed it. Taskmaster, I do think is just one of those character development things. Again, I just execution of it was a little off, I guess, but I did find him or her pretty menacing when we didn't know who she was. But then I do remember whispers of it being a girl, so I kind of already knew that. And so that kind of ruined the reveal for me. But
well, I saw Olga Kurilenko's name at the beginning of the credits, and like more than halfway through the movie, we hadn't seen her yet, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?" So I kind of sort of put 2 and 2 together,
right?
Yeah.
That it was going to be her, but
it
I was
also
like,
gave me
nah.
vibes of Winter Soldier when they first introed him, and it just felt very similar to that.
Yeah, it felt similar
Yeah.
to that, but lacking the, I guess, bite that Winter Soldier had, where you felt kind of intimidated a little bit, you know?
Exactly.
But
like
it was
there, but it wasn't fully there. Like it could have been better.
It is what it is, and like I said, that's that's why it wasn't a top tier film for me, but it was still a really enjoyable film for me.
Yeah, tiny little things. But overall, yeah, it was great. I had fun, like I said, and I would watch it again for sure. Like you, Kavi, I don't think I would go out of my way to watch it a trillion times.
Right. Yeah.
But it's definitely something that, if like, I don't know, a friend had it on, I'd totally watch it,
Right. Yeah, no. Like, look, by the time Friday came around this week, I'd already seen it twice, once at the premiere and once on Thursday night. I considered watching it again at home on Disney Plus.
Big time.
One more time. I'm not big time, Carlito, but I am. I'm like medium.
As he wears his Black Widow hat.
I'm like medium time. But let's see. But I would watch it again, I think, but not at the theater again. Like 2 times in the theater is like more than I can handle for most movies. I would consider renting it, or once it'll eventually be on Disney Plus for free. Right.
Oh, I'm getting that Steelbook.
6 months from now, something like that. Baby. I'm guessing maybe a year from now, it'll be on Disney Plus. Like you could just watch it like any of the other MCU movies on there, and I definitely will watch it again at that point.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm definitely getting that 4K Steelbook.
Some of the last.
Yeah, I'm tempted by a lot of you guys keep tempting me on all these Steelbooks and Blu-rays, but
you just have to. Like they're too cool. They're too cool to pass up.
That Judge Dredd one that you gave me, JoJo, is so awesome. Thank you. And by the way, I finally saw that at a Best Buy here the other day. I'm like, dang it.
You want to know? You know what's funny? I had bought that, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go back to get. There were 2, right? I had one, and then I went back, and I was like, let me get this one for Carlito. It wasn't there anymore, and so I just ordered it. I was like,
what? No. So you don't have one?
Oh, no, I do, but I was going to go back to get the other one for you, but then it was gone. So that's why it took me longer. I had to, Kavi, you're going to have to let me know which Steelbooks you're looking at.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, I will. I mean, I don't collect a ton of Blu-rays. I've got
get Kavi into this hobby.
I've got my little like 15 to 20 something Blu-ray collection, and I'll add to it every once in a while, but I don't buy a ton of Blu-rays.
Yeah, because I would like to contribute to your collection too.
Oh, me too. See, I see what you're getting at. That's okay.
All right, what does J-Man say? 8 out of 10.
That's a good question.
Fair. What's that? What'd you say?
He's got a fair question there, and I have a decent answer for that.
If you can get over Taskmaster, which I'm still thinking about, just tainted the movie. I'm too nerdy, I guess. LOL. Also, how Melina, now a good guy, she was torturing animals. What did you have to say to that, Carlito?
Well, she's not necessarily a good guy, but I think she's finally broken free of the control that was over her. And she's looking for some sort of redemption, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I would be if like I was like that my whole life.
Listen,
And then,
I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of animals get quote unquote tortured
Yeah.
in the name of science, like, and that's sort of what happened there, you know.
and honestly, there's been a lot of former like scientific people in the community that have quit and went on to like PETA or whatever. So
Yep.
I mean, it's not like they're all of a sudden good guys, but they definitely want to make up for, you know, what's been going on. So
What's up, Crypto Stock?
Hey, Crypto.
hey, Crypto.
Yeah, you know, that just got me thinking. Actually, during that dinner scene,
Oh
it
yeah, that
made
was a good
me
scene.
realize, man, Scarlett's character, Natasha,
She's
she's just such a
cold-hearted.
better person than I am, because I would have been like, fuck all you guys, I'm leaving. This is crazy. Bye. Like,
You would have done what Yelena did, go to the other room.
Yeah.
Put yourself in there.
no, I would have just left. Like,
Oh, you would have just straight up left.
goodbye. Yeah, but
I thought at one point that was going to happen, and then like the rest of them would try to like follow her or whatever.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I also thought it was weird that Red Guardian would go after her at first. It's like, why would he care that much? If like, but I guess he ended up actually caring for them. So.
Yeah, hard to put
Yeah.
yourself in the shoes of a Russian super soldier that compares himself to Captain America, that has been in jail for 25 years and then just got
That was pretty fun. Yeah.
and then just got rescued by his adoptee super spy daughters that aren't actually his daughters.
I know.
And up until that point was like a total narcissist.
Right. That's a hard character to write. I mean, I think David Harbour did a pretty good job with what he was given.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Agree. Big theme of the movie is you can't fault people
Exactly.
for their upbringing. Give them credit. For
Totally. Yeah.
Agree, Franklin. Doesn't beat Texas Chainsaw Massacre dinner scene, right? All right. Thanks for joining us, gay man.
I still enjoyed that dinner scene though, because it went a different way than what I was expecting. So I like that.
Same.
I like that.
It felt like a legitimate family bickering at the table, which everybody has. I mean, everybody has some sort of experience with that. Even if you don't have like a traditional nuclear family, like you've probably been to somebody else's house for dinner or something and experienced a moment like that. And
it felt so disjointed too, because like some of them were laughing,
right?
Then some of them were crying. Some of them were just frustrated.
Pissed off. Yeah.
They were just everywhere, but it made sense with the story. So, yeah. I would recommend for sure. Overall, Glitter. Hey, Glitter.
Hey, Glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, go check out the movie, everybody.
I mean, you don't have to love it.
Looks like a lot of people already did, since it made $140 million already. But yeah.
You know, it feels good to talk with people that are, how do I put this nicely? A little bit more objective,
intelligent
about it. No, I'm not going to say that, because
come on, I know you want to, Carlito. I know you. No, I'm just kidding.
There are some intelligent people that have been kind of negative, but because I just crap, man. I've been getting messages and like comments and tweets and like stuff from friends and whatever that, oh, it's like a 6 or, you know, it's no higher than a 7. I'm like,
it wasn't.
Did you guys watch the same movie I did? Because
I know.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe some of them haven't seen the MCU movies. I don't know.
Without getting too specific or calling on specific names, like a lot of that kind of negative, quote unquote, internet feedback about something without like drawn out explanations written out in an intelligent kind of way is more of a reflection on that person.
That's what I said.
And what they're going through in their life than the quality of any piece of art or fiction, you know?
Yeah, I told my buddy that. He didn't like that very much, but the funny thing is he hadn't even seen the movie. He just saw my post.
How can you
that is what bugs me.
Yeah, to be fair, I did say something slightly disparaging about if people rated it a 6 or lower on Twitter, but like it was kind of in jest, sort of halfway true, but like he took that and just like ran with it.
This is why I don't engage in Twitter discourse. So I hate Twitter. Like
sometimes
like,
I
have Twitter accounts
bear,
and everything,
you know?
and I'll post like some things there occasionally, but I never like get into these like back and forth like things on Twitter. It's like
I don't know if it's like a
not worth it
biological thing, but I just get this little feeling to kind of like poke the bear, you know.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
What about this comment? I read reviews about it getting some feminist trope, but I didn't see any of that. I didn't really see that either.
I didn't see that in any reviews. I've seen some Proud Boys dogging on it online, but that's about it.
I mean,
thanks, Franklin.
Thanks, Franklin. Just because there are like female leads doesn't really mean that it's feminist. I mean,
just for once, I'd like to see a movie called Feminist by a female. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Another thing with like Taskmaster is, I don't think I mentioned this, but I wanted to, is we could see multiple versions of Taskmaster. Like it doesn't have to just be that one version. It was a program. It was a program sort of technology. Exactly. It wasn't one character. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I could easily see that like plain old Russian villain type like doing that to somebody else or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so
so some comic fans need to stop treating feminist as a dirty word. It wasn't heavy in this movie.
It wasn't at all.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were no male widows, guys.
Hey, Jeff.
As far as I know.
That's a good one, Kavi.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe there were, and but
exactly, Rock City.
Right? Yeah.
Rock City. By the way, you won one of my prizes for the giveaway. So, hit me up on Instagram with your shipping info, and I'll ship that out to you.
Oh, his shipping info is the same as mine. Just
right.
Okay.
By way of Carlito.
Carlito.
In care of Carlito.
Attention, Carlito.
Find me on Instagram and then we'll take care of that. And then I'll just ship to Carlito. So
right.
Anyways, all right. Well, any last comments? Any last thoughts y'all want to say about the movie?
No, it's a good time. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Really, that's it.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah. Try to watch it in the theater, I would say. I feel
agreed. If you can, if you're not comfortable, it's fine and it's available at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, and I've seen some people. Well, I've got like 3 kids, and that's totally cool. I wouldn't want to spend
it's more
$300 to go to the theater.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah, it's but better value
way,
just home for those people. Yeah.
Either way, I would say just regardless of what you see online or any talking heads, go see it yourself. But that's what I always say.
Yeah, I agree. So what are you guys up to in terms of YouTube? Kavi?
Carlito?
I'm still working on my channel. Release date is tentative 2022. So I have some content coming out.
Mark that premiere date down.
It was supposed to be this year, but COVID delayed it. So.
Right.
Okay.
I just put out a video called Original Comic Art Channels and Websites You Should Know on my channel.
Oh, that's a good video.
Yesterday.
I watched it.
Thank you, brother. It's like
I didn't comment yet.
Sorry. It's like a 6-minute video, and it's the first kind of informational style, like highly produced, kind of video that just lays out a bunch of information for people that may not be as familiar with original comic art, places that you can go to look for it, buy it, claim it on YouTube shows and, communities for original comic art, because they're all kind of different places than a lot of the comic book collectors are hanging out. And so I have a hybrid of comic book collectors and original comic art people watching my channel. So I figured that was probably a good video where the original comic art people could ignore it because they probably know all of it already, but the comic book people could watch it and be like, I had no clue about any of this stuff. I heard that from a lot of people on the comic book side. Like, I had no clue about any of this stuff. I just subscribed to these channels or or went to go check out these websites. So that was basically my point in making that video. And so hopefully people can check that out. Other than that, I'm sure I'll be popping up at some point for some live streams and whatnot on my channel and other people's channels. But I don't have, off the top of my head, I don't think I have anything specific to promote besides that. So,
all righty. Well, I have links to both of these gentlemen's Instagram and YouTube. So definitely go check them out and sub them up too if you're not. But yeah, we're always gonna, try to cover some movies, especially if all of us have watched it around the same time. It's always fun discussing with you guys. It's so much easier to do it this way instead of like doing its own video, just because, just to bounce thoughts off of you guys is nice. And it's different than like just talking into a camera,
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot easier to do it like this. I will be doing a separate video probably. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
depending on time.
You'd always just chop this video up into a 10-minute
I know, right?
video. Just cut out all the dumb things we said.
So cut out me
10
and
minutes.
just you and Kavi will be talking about. No, but I love your reviews and stuff, JoJo. You should do a small one on it.
Yeah, you should do it.
All right.
Do it totally.
And I need to work on making comments on videos because I'm horrible at that. I'll be the first to say, like, I just usually like a thumbs up and then move on.
Yeah.
I need to start leaving comments. So.
Yeah, for sure. But all right, guys.
I wish it was easier to comment when you're not on a computer or phone. Like if you're on a TV,
right?
You comment.
Yeah.
It gets tougher.
Yeah, that would be cool to do it on TV because that's where I watch most of it.
But they never have the comment area for the TV.
Yeah,
stuff.
some do, but it's so like it's not user friendly, to do it. So it's like I don't even bother.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. And we'll see you next week. I'll probably go live on Sunday. So catch y'all there.
Are you going live tonight?
No, I'm not.
Oh, boo.
All right. Later.